Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another Axis 72 video, and in today's video, pleasure as always to be joined by Frak. Frak, how are we, mate?
Yes, I'm very good, Alex. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing, mate, and of course, it was unfortunate I didn't get a chance to catch you after your last fight, but we said even before that last fight that we'd get a Zoom going, and here we are today, and so I suppose we'll just kind of start with the first question. Overall, mate, how's things been?
Yeah, things been it's been good since the fight. Just back to a normal life, normal routine, and can finally eat. That's the main thing.
And I suppose that after each fight, do you ever? You never really seem to be somebody that like goes on and just goes crazy with the food like certain fighters are. But do you know how to kind of enjoy yourself and relax after a fight?
Of course, yeah, I do like to have a bit of a blowout, but you're just talking about 2-3 days tops. Like I boxed on Friday, had a blowout over the weekend, I was back in gym on Monday. So yeah, I'm back on it, man. It's just obviously not on a strict diet more than anything. Gotta let my body reset as well.
Do you ever kind of find that kind of dieting aspect any bit hard or not really?
Obviously dieting's not easy, you know what I mean? Nobody likes to diet, but it's just part of what you gotta do every day. And obviously once I stop boxing and stuff and I've got a few days off, I will enjoy it, but I won't go overboard as well. There's limits.
Of course, and I suppose to speak about, obviously you've had this fight, and I suppose just to kind of, before we get fully into the fight, I just wanted to ask obviously I've gone back and watched the interview that we did over Zoom a little while ago, and kind of you've come a long way since then. It's been very nice to see, and obviously with every fight you've been fighting on GBM, and they are progressing bigger and bigger each time, and they kind of have these cameras, the big cameras, the lights, everything all around you. And are you comfortable with that now? Do you say that you do enjoy that kind of aspect of things now?
Of course, I've always enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Obviously some people they shy away from it and they feel a bit intimidated by it. But honestly, I love it, mate. It's amazing what he does and how he puts on these shows, because what people got to understand is there's a bigger picture as well. On these smaller old shows, you don't get many lights and cameras and all this attention, and then when people move on to these bigger shows, the fight doesn't get to them. It's the occasion what gets to them, and they get overwhelmed. Whereas myself, I've been exposed to that very early from my second fight onwards. I got exposed to the lights and cameras. So now see if an opportunity does come on other platforms, I'm used to it because Izzy's given us a foundation. So yeah, I'll be more than ready if opportunities come in the future. The occasion won't faze me, just about going in there and doing my job, yeah.
Totally. And so I suppose now if we are to touch on the fight, obviously it didn't quite go the way that you wanted it to. It was a draw, not a defeat though, and so you can't, of course, I mean, you seem to not really be looking at it too much as a defeat, which is always nice. And I suppose going into that fight there was kind of a little, maybe not back and forth between the two of you, but back and forth between certain people doubting you, certain people saying things that possibly saying things that could have gotten to your skin a little bit. And I suppose going into that fight, were you a little bit frustrated, a little bit annoyed going into it?
Of course, I was. It was like it's just everybody was just saying, "Listen, Frak, this is the wrong fight. It's too soon for you. It's too early for you. His style's completely wrong. He's been in with very good opposition. They've been very seasoned as well." So, but in my heart, I was like, "Why is it? Why are you saying this? Like, do you think I'm not good enough, or what is it?" So it went. I wanted to fight this kid because I wanted to just prove a point to people. It wasn't that. I honestly believed in my heart I could beat him. So that's why I was quite confident. I knew the dangers and I knew the risks and everything. But in my heart, I was like, "Frak, you've got the better skill. You've got the better ability. You can beat him." Obviously, on the night, you've seen the fight. A lot of people who were very close to me, even there, said, "Frak, why didn't you just box him?" Like in the whole fight, I must have threw about 6 jabs. My main weapon is my jab. That's what I'm known for, throwing a very good jab. And I didn't use it. And I honestly believe it come down to I went into that ring with the wrong mindset more than anything. Just the fact thinking, I've got to go in there to prove a point to people. Not the fact that I've got to go in there do my job and do what I can do. And I think that's what got me the draw more than anything. Because if I kept it long, I could have made it so easy. Honestly, so easy. I think I could have beaten me 1-1 just by throwing my jab and just hooking off it and just, you know what I mean, dancing about. I could have made it that simple, but I didn't. And credit to Trana because he dragged me into a fight and all. So yeah, it's just one of them ones. It's not a loss, but I'm not seeing it as a loss. But my mentality is like, listen, Frak, that was very close. You gotta reflect and learn from that because another one of them, you don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't know.
Of course, and I mean, you see a lot of fighters, even at the very top level, that quite often fighters, you can get dragged into opponents' fights and game plans that you might have set out to have. It doesn't always go that way, and you know, it's nice to see that you can reflect on it. And obviously,
you know what's crazy? You know, you watch fights on TV, and you know the other kid's a better boxer, but he's getting dragged into a fight. You're screaming at the TV, going, "Look, just throw a jab and just move. You're just gonna make it easier." But it's easy to say from the outside, but then obviously now I've been in that position where people on the outside were probably saying, "Frak, just throw your jab and just throw straight shots and move." But it's a lot harder once you're in that position because everything just takes over you, and you don't think. You just think about just throwing your hands and just landing first. So in that aspect, I've learned like a different thing to boxing and all now because just not to panic. Just do what I know I can do. And yeah, that's it. Just wanted to say that, yeah.
And obviously you've kind of like you've reflected on it, and you still know where your talents lie, and that is of being a boxer. And you're not ever really going to be seen as somebody who is a huge puncher, and you know, it's you've come to seemingly kind of accept that, and now, like you say, you've learned and you've now noticed what the things are that you're good at. And I suppose going into any kind of future fight, you now have that recipe and that plan which you now know you can follow, and like you say, you just kind of be relaxed to follow it.
Of course. That would be, like you just said then, I'm not a huge puncher, that's true. But I've never once ever said that I'm a huge puncher. All I've always said is, listen, I will go there, and if it comes down to a scrap, I will not back down. I know I'm not the biggest puncher, but I know it's my heart and determination what can change a fight more than anything. But it's my skills. My trainer says it all the time, Frak, you are a better boxer than you are a fighter. He goes, yeah, when it gets tough in the trenches, you are willing there to stand there and take shots when you shouldn't. But he goes, some people have that and some people don't, but with you have got that. But you just got to know how to use it at the right times. But my trainer goes, listen, your main strong point is actually boxing, because once you're actually boxing, you are hard to beat. So that is one thing I've learned from this, that just not let ego get into my head more than anything, and just don't let what people say get to me, because at the end of the day, if I was to box Kevin Trana and made it a very boring fight, everybody would have said that was a very shit display from Frak. He just outboxed him. Where now, when I stood there in the middle of the ring, people were still slagging me off, saying he got dragged into a war. So now I've come to the realisation of, listen, just fuck what everyone says more than anything, because no one's going to be happy, win or lose. I've just got to make sure I do my job and reach to the goals what I've set out to do. So yeah.
No, it's a great mentality that you're having now, and I suppose for people from the outside, obviously you had the few kind of selection of people that were possibly doubting you going into that last fight, but I suppose the other argument of the people on the outside is when you look at somebody like a Kevin Trana's record, perhaps you see, oh, maybe he isn't amazing, but when you kind of see these fighters coming in from these different countries, they get tested hard and they get drilled hard when they're out in these different countries fighting, and so it's not the same as you see like a British journeyman, and you can't really call him journeyman really. And I suppose, do you feel like certain times the fans outside looking in can overlook fighters?
Yeah, of course they can. And they did it. Us as boxers, myself, I've done it in the past. Earlier on anyway, where I've fought a so-called journeyman. I'm not really trained for it. You know what I mean? I've just done the bare minimum just to get to fight night. And it's one of them. Obviously, spectators were there watching it. They don't know who's in that ring and what capabilities they have, so they might actually see it as, oh, listen, this is just going to be a piece of piss fight for whoever's boxing, but it's not like that. It's very tough. So you have always got to be switched on and treat every fight like it is a very serious fight, because end of the day, just you're one loss away, and everything can just go to shits. And if it's down to your mentality thinking it's going to be an easy fight, it's going to be very hard to live with. So that's one position I don't want to ever be in.
Of course. And in a prior answer, you said that you kind of didn't really want to be, but you kind of maybe perhaps were seen as somebody who people on the telly might have been looking at, shouting at, kind of saying, why isn't he doing this, why isn't he doing that? What was your corner kind of saying in between each round, and what was your attitude towards what they were saying?
So I'm not gonna lie, right now I can't remember. Honestly, I can't. But I've spoke to my corner team since, and they were just saying, listen, just throw your jab and just do the basic stuff that you know. Keep your head out the centre line and just don't let him hit you with the straight shots. That's what my corner team were telling me. But then obviously you have that minute rest. You think, okay, I've regrouped. But then the second that bell goes, it just goes out of shits again. But that's no like fault of my corner team or nothing like that. That's just more the fact you just lose concentration. It's just that fight or flight mode. You're not bothered about instructions, because once you're under that pressure, you just won't let your hands go, and it's simple. But obviously that is down to inexperience as well. I'm not gonna lie to you, that is down to inexperience, and with more fights and more times, I will get more used to, you know, being under pressure when it's not going my way, instead of fighting, sticking to my game plan. But yeah, that is mainly down to inexperience anyway. But yeah, like I'm saying, it's all a learning curve anyway. So to me, it is a big blessing, because I feel like this has happened for a reason. I honestly do think that, and I think it's happened for the best. So yeah.
Of course, and one of the possible upsides of what has happened is that possible fighters might be, I suppose, to an extent more willing to fight you now, and possibly even overlook you going into a fight with you. And so do you feel like that could be the case?
Of course, not gonna lie to you. If opponents are wanting to watch me, I do want them to watch the fight I had on Friday. Honestly, I do, because the amount of confidence that they gain from that is going to be unbelievable. But I know, and the people around me who know me know that was not me in that ring on Friday. And I hope future opponents do watch that fight, because they'll be in for a massive shock, honestly. Yeah, that will probably be my worst performance ever. And that's not even me lying about it or nothing. I can openly say that, yeah.
No, it's nice to see that you can reflect on it, like I've been saying. And I suppose moving on from this fight, like I say, it's not a defeat, it's a draw. It's so much you can learn from it. And for 2024, it's still early on in the year. Do you feel like 2024 has still got the making to be the best year for you this year?
Of course, I said it, I think, a few months ago. I said, listen, 2024 is going to be the biggest year of my boxing career, because I'm breaking out from the journeyman route to like the other higher prospects. I'm just breaking through now. So it's like, now's my time. So 2024 is going to tell a lot about myself and how far I can go up into the rankings, because the fights aren't going to get easier now. The fights are all going to get harder. And like I've always said to you, I don't want easy fights. I do want them challenges, and I'll still live by that. You know what I mean? It don't matter who they put in front of me, I'll always say, listen, I want someone better, I want someone better. I'm not them kids who like this one, I've had a draw. I'm not going to go back down to a 4-rounder and like fight someone just to gain my confidence. I ain't doing that. And then whoever my next opponent is, I'm going to jump straight in. I'll push my management to get me a very live opponent, and I just want to push myself, because I know where I can get.
No, that's brilliant. And I mean, we spoke a little bit in the past off camera about certain fighters perhaps not ducking you, I don't know, but I suppose maybe kind of tip-tapping their career around a little bit and not really wanting to fight these tough tests, which would be you. And do you feel like that can harm fighters' careers?
Of course it can. Like, I don't understand why fighters just want to get to like 10, 12, 13, 14, you know, and just fighting really no ones who are there just to get a paycheck. Let's be real in it. That's what they're there for, get a paycheck, not get hurt, and box the next weekend and make more money. a lot of people do abuse that, and the minute they do step up, or the minute they get an opponent who's throwing back, they don't know what to do. So I just don't want to be known as them kids. Like he just fought people who were there to get beat. I'd rather get beat, and people say he gave everything that fight, instead of getting beat to someone who I wasn't going to get beat to. You know what I mean?
Mm. And I suppose this kind of leads on to my next question of, would you, I suppose you're kind of more used to being the home fighter and being the one with GBM, but would you not mind being that of like more of an away fighter, the ones where you really have to go out and prove yourself in a dominant performance to be able to get a victory?
Well, it's one of them, and it depends where the opportunities come. If Izzy can provide opportunities, by all means, don't forget I'm managed and signed by Izzy.
Yeah.
So Izzy is going to be my number one priority. If he can get me big fights on his shows, by all means. But if he gets me an opportunity to fight on someone else's show and I'm in the away corner, by all means, I'm in the away corner, but I'm going in there with the mentality I'm the home fighter, because I'm not losing my all, and I'm not missing out on these bigger opportunities where I can change my life. And it's simple as that. It don't matter if it's a home show or if it's an away show. My mentality is exactly the same. I'm going to win. I'm not going to lay down or take a paycheck of anyone. You know what I mean? End of the day, I'll be contradicting everything I've said from my pro debut to now on. That's not me. So no matter who's in the ring with me, whether it's a GBM show or another platform, I will go out there with the exact same mentality and the exact same confidence I've always had, because I truly do believe in myself.
Brilliant. And I suppose I've asked a couple of the other GBM fighters this. Obviously, you're one of the original ones being signed, and you've kind of seen the whole journey as they've progressed. And I suppose with more and more fighters coming into GBM, do you still feel like, compared to that of some other promotions, the GBM fighters are actually a bit like a community to an extent, and there is actual general friendship between majority of the fighters?
Of course, you know it is. Everyone on GBM, we all know each other as well. You know what I mean? It's like a little community in itself. There's no ego between any of the fighters, even though there's fighters in the same weight class, and potentially even in the future there could be some potential matches in the stable itself. But there's no tension or nothing between anyone, because what you got to understand is it's a massive opportunity we've been given, so we're privileged to be in this position. It's not like the fighters on GBM were standout amateurs or been to the Olympics or stuff like that. You never know, there might be some fighters who come from that background, come onto GBM, but as of right now, there's not kids like that on there. So everyone's very privileged, and they appreciate the work what he's doing for a so-called smaller promoter. So everyone gets on with each other. There's no animosity between anyone. So it is a very tight-knit promotion company, yeah. And I hope it does stay like that as well, yeah. Because I believe that's what's unique about GBM. Everybody wants everybody to win. Nobody wants to see nobody lose, because we're just not that sort of out there.
Yeah, of course. And obviously with this kind of last card, it came with the commentary of Adam Smith, and it was amazing to see him back commentating. I don't know if you've had a chance to go and watch back your fight, but it must have been a special feeling to an extent to have somebody who's known so well in the sport to have commentated your fight.
Of course, you know it is. Adam Smith, I've been listening to him ever since I've actually ever got into boxing. Honestly, so for him to even comment on my fight, honestly, it's an amazing moment, you know, for him to even just say my name, and he even used this famous line, what's it now, you know, it's a proper entertaining fight, this. The emphasis he has in his voice, it's just amazing. And honestly, like, when I watch him back and I hear his voice, and he's like, you can feel the passion in it, it's amazing, man. And I hope he comes back on a GBM show again, yeah. But yeah, it is good to have him back, yeah.
Indeed. And it's been a pleasure as always to speak to you. So I'll leave with this final question. Always like to kind of open the floor up to any fighter, and of course got a bit of a platform. Is there anything that you'd like to shout out?
Just everyone who support me, really. Also my sponsors, everyone. That the journey's not finished. I know I did say, if the fight doesn't go my way, I will call it a day, and that I was genuinely being serious. But obviously I've had time to think and reflect. As I've said, it's not a win, but it's not a loss. It's something I've got to learn from.
Yeah.
And that mentality is still going to be exactly the same. That I can't afford to slip up. And if I do slip up, that is it. It's the end of the road. But like I'm saying, I'll give it everything I've got, and I'll throw every punch I've got and all to the last bell. Like you've seen me against Kevin Tranter. I threw literally right to the last second. And if I've got to stand in the middle of the ring and go toe to toe, I will do. I'm not scared of that. But I think moving forward, you are going to see more of a boxing display coming from me. And I'm not going to take into consideration what people say about me either. So it's just going to be focusing on myself now, just getting them wins in and looking good doing it.
Amazing, mate. Well, like I've been saying, absolute pleasure as always. You are probably up there with one of my favourite fighters to interview. You always, offer the respect that you always have, but you also give amazing answers in the process as well, mate. And hopefully a little bit further along down the line, we can continue to have chats, and pre the next fight, whatever this next fight may be, we can possibly come and have another chat then.
Oh yeah, of course, Alex. I do appreciate you, bro. Obviously, like I said, you were the first person who actually ever interviewed me, so I've got to give you the time, Anna. You know what I mean? It's always love from my end.
Nothing but respect for you, mate. And so if you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, and thanks.